Could the San Antonio Spurs trade up in next week's draft to draft Keegan Murray? What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Quick video today. I saw this on Pounding the Rock early this morning. And of course, the title of the article is right there. The Spurs could trade up for Keegan Murray. Before I get into the article, drop a comment down below. Would you want the Spurs to trade up to be able to draft him at likely the 5 spot? How many assets would you give up to be able to draft him? Hit that thumbs up to support, fellow Spurs fan, and subscribe for more Spurs content. The draft is less than a week away. Quick note, as moving down in the article, congratulations to Golden State Warriors fans as they won another ring last night. Sorry, Boston Celtics fans and Derek White. Congratulations, garbage time Q. Anyway, the San Antonio Spurs are a little more than 1 week away, a little less than a week away from making their 6th lottery selection in franchise history. This is from Pounding the Rock, if I haven't mentioned it already. But our reports that Pop in the front office are looking to use the 9th, 20th, 25th, and 38th picks to maneuver closer towards the top of the 2022 NBA draft. And I've seen a lot of reports left and right that we are trying to consolidate some of these picks because from everything I've read, they don't want to draft 4 players. Okay, so that seems pretty legit. Jake Fisher of Bleacher Report and Rafael Barlow of NBA Big Board are 2 reputable writers saying the Silver and Black are trying to consolidate picks to avoid bringing 4 rookies into training camp. And it appears that General Manager Brian Wright is focusing on Keegan Murray according to Q&A with Matt Babcock of Basketball News. San Antonio has met with 48 prospects through workouts and interviews as we approach June 23rd. Keegan Murray has no confirmed contact with the team up to this point. That being said, the Spurs sent staff to the Iowa versus Nebraska game on February 25th when Keegan Murray squared off with potential first rounder Bryce McCown. So I'm sure they have scouted him a lot. He's a 6'8 combo forward, and he would bring a lot to a team that needs size. Murray was one of the biggest breakout stories in college basketball last season, averaging 23.5 points per game and 8.7 rebounds while shooting 55% from the field and just under 40% from beyond the arc. The 21-year-old sophomore was stunningly efficient on post-ups, putbacks, and isolations, and he ranked as the deadliest transition scorer in the nation. We have guys that pickpockets. DeJounte Murray led the NBA in steals last year. And one thing I did see the Spurs struggle at times was on fast breaks, not being able to finish a fast break. Having a player like Keegan Murray on the floor, is he going to be one of those players that can help us finish what we started? But he's not just an offensive threat. On top of his offensive exploits, the former Hawkeye registered 1.3 steals and 1.9 blocks per game, creating chaos in the passing lanes and swatting shots. Get out of here! As a weak side rim protector. Despite lacking elite foot speed or top flight athleticism, Murray was consistently dependable guarding forwards one-on-one and showed he could switch onto the perimeter in a pinch. Keegan Murray makes a perfect fit for a San Antonio team in desperate need of front court help alongside Jakob Poeltl. Absolutely, and I'll get to where I think he would fit if he would be a starter or not if we were able to trade him and what I would trade myself. The Spurs may not have the assets to move high enough to secure their target. DraftKings has Murray at a -120 to be the 5th overall pick, the best odds out of any prospect they think has a shot to come off the board at that slot. So would it be worth it for them to give up away multiple bites of the draft apple for a player with a lower ceiling than Jabari Smith Jr. or Pablo Lancaro? Yes, we desperately need help on the front court. I've talked about this in many videos. The Spurs get killed on the rebounds almost on a regular nightly basis last year. This would give us a player that, well, let's just start off. If we drafted Keegan Murray, let's back up. Back up the truck. What will we have to give up? Obviously, the 9th overall pick, Spurs fans, to be able to move up in the draft. Probably also the 20th overall pick. And probably a player too. Maybe a Josh Richardson, maybe a Doug McDermott. I'm not sure who exactly. Maybe one of our younger players. No, they're not going to package Devin Vassell, Kelvin Johnson, or Joshua Primo to move up 4 spots in the draft. I can't see any way that happens. Josh Richardson played extremely well off the bench last year, and if they can move up, maybe Keegan's going to drop to the 6, 7, I don't know, whatever it is. I think it's worth it trading away some assets to move up in the draft to get a player that could start day one. And the reason I say he could be a day one starter is our starter for most of last season was Doug McDermott. And I like Doug. He's a veteran, probably going to make less mistakes than a rookie out on the court in his first year. He's a better three-point shooter. That being said, Keegan's going to give us a little more size on the court. If his college game translates well over into the NBA, which I have no reason to think it won't, he's immediately going to be a better defender. That's one thing. Doug did get attacked sometimes on the floor, one-on-one, whatever it was. He just He's not our best defender, and this would be an immediate defensive upgrade. And he's a much better rebounder, something I just mentioned we desperately need. And when I look at Doug McDermott, I believe he's 30. I think he's already reached his ceiling. I don't think he's magically going to turn into a 25 points per game scorer next year. Whereas Keegan Murray could have a much higher ceiling. Just based on what I've read about him, what I've seen about him, it does seem like he would have a higher ceiling than our current power forward. So Spurs fans, again, is this a move you'd like to make? It's rumors, conjecture, whatever you want to call it. I do think the Spurs are going to trade one of these draft picks. I put a post up yesterday in my community notes. Do you think they'll draft 4 guys or if they'll trade somebody? Every site I'm going to, whether it's a site that's generally legit or maybe a little questionable with the rumors, seems like the Spurs are not wanting to draft 4 players. If we can move up to 5 or 6 or 7, because you never know what's going to happen in the draft. I say this all the time. Projections generally don't mean too much except for the first top few players. I do think Chet, Paulo, and Jabari are going to go 1, 2, 3 in whatever order. Then after that, Jaden Ivey at 4. And Shaden Sharp, I'm seeing rumors that his stock is dropping in the draft a little bit. You just don't know what's going to happen draft night. A team could value Keegan Murray as the 3rd best player in their draft, and then he goes 3. And the teams ahead of us none of them might value him as a top 10 player, and he falls to 9. I don't think he's going to fall to 9. That would be unbelievable if he did. But it's going to be a crazy week. I can't wait for the draft next week, and I really sincerely hope we do something and don't draft 4 guys. If we draft 4 guys, obviously I'll support the team, but I just think that's just going to be too many players going to the G League and too many. We hope this guy works out. Let's use some of these assets we stockpiled over the last season and get somebody that should have a higher floor and may have a very high ceiling. And Spurs fans, we would have the Murray brothers, which could be fun too. DeJounte Murray and Keegan Murray in the lineup, which means when I'm doing my play-by-play, Murray to Murray, Thunder Dunk of Justice. That could be fun. Anyway, thank you all for tuning in. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. And as always, go Spurs go!